Hi everyone, in today's video I'll be sharing my experience playing the SuperNova Kid deck in the recent Peoria regional. Let's begin. So before the tournament started, I expect to face mostly Zoro, Kinemon or Whitebeard deck. So I chose to pick up the SuperNova Kid as this three don't have much removal and could be a good matchup. Leader Kid 12k attack twice is also very impressive, even against opponent 7k or 8k leader buffed by the 9 cost Whitebeard. This decklist was inspired by the Great Asian Open Singapore Top 8 SuperNova Kid decklist. I will also put the link in the description below for the people who want to take a look. After testing the deck and making one little change, I was ready for the big event. Before we go for the tournament report, let's have a quick look at the decklist first. First off, we have some of the common choice for green deck. We have 4 Bonnie, 4 Apu, 4 Izo, 3 5 cost X-Drake, and 3 8 cost Kid. As for the blocker choice, there are 4 Badgie, 4 Shachi, and 4 Blocker Law. Badgie is the cheapest blocker for the green deck. Blocker Law is also a very utility card. You can either bounce your killer or Izo to reuse the effect, or you can attack with your Shachi and restand it later on. Talking about Shachi, he's probably the card that shines a lot in this deck. Being a 4k blocker, he dodges a lot of meta removals like Robin, Vista, or Seaquick. Being a 3 cost means you can also play out this card with the 8 cost Kid effect. Next, let's discuss some of the cards that work particularly well in this deck, including 2 of the 4 cost Zoro, 4 copy of the Restand Law, Street Killer, and our most important card, the 4 cost X-Drake. The 4 cost Zoro and X-Drake are ideal for playing on turn 2 when going second. Then on turn 3, follow up with the Restand Law, allowing X-Drake to attack twice with 7k power and the leader to attack with 6k, which is very impressive. Also, if you don't have the perfect hand, attacking twice with your leader effect can also be very effective. This deck has slightly more counters compared to the standard Kid or Kinemon build, which can catch your opponent off guard. And let's jump into the summary of my tournament. Round 1, I got a no-show win, which is good, but unfortunately it's also very bad for my tiebreaker going forward. Round 2, I play against the Ivankov deck, which is a bad matchup for me. I lost to the Ivankov deck, where my opponent have a very strong hand and great plays. He started with 2 Perona, able to manage his top deck very well. Then played Ivankov into Luffy, followed by Ivankov into the Caesar Sky. Then the next turn, he was able to play another Luffy. I was at 0 life and with 2 6k Law on board. Meanwhile, my opponent had 3 life, no blockers, and 2 cards in hand. I launched my counter attack hitting with both the Law and then the Kid first 11k attack. However, as I attempt my final 11 attack with Kid ability, my opponent revealed 7k counters in hand, make me lost the game. Going to the match, I hadn't expected to face Ivankov at all, and it's generally a poor matchup for Kid. My opponent's hand was also particularly strong as an Ivankov player, as they played all their Ivankov and Luffy, drew half of his 14 copy of the 2k counters, which is also very impressive, along with no cards in hand without counter like the night cost Mihawk or the stage card. This matchup highlights actually the importance of being prepared of the unexpected matchup for me, and even though I lost the game, it was an exciting and valuable learning experience. Round 3 against the Law player. Sadly, I lose again. Law is also known to be a very tough matchup for this version, the SuperNova Kid, due to the early aggressive playstyle and also the difficulty of dealing with the blocker loss. In this matchup, my opponent jet pistol my 4 cost X-Drake early game, which disrupted my early aggression and tempo. I actually should attack with my Kid leader twice early on, but I forgot. Then he was able to search for or draw like 3 blocker Law, which really messed up my game plan. During the late game, my 8 cost Kid was hit with a -K debuff by the Otama and had no counter at all in hand to respond to protect my kid, which I have all the blocker law badgie in my hand, no counter at all at the time, sadly. So I also, which is very bad situation for me. Then going to round 4, unfortunately I lost again to a Luffy leader. I lost the Dyro first and then struggled with the early pressure from my opponent's spin backman, which is 9k power, that's very strong. I actually also misplayed a little bit in between as I was in a low strike and then it got impact a little bit. Round 5, I play against another Ivankov player, which is very not like unexpected. But luckily this time I managed to establish a early 8 cost kid, which was enough blocker, which is very tough for any blue deck to deal with. And my opponent's Ivankov hand wasn't as strong as the opponent in round 2, so I was able to secure the win this round. Going into round 6, I played against a Moby Dick version of the Whitebeard, and I win this round. My opponent didn't play his Moby Dick at all, and made some questionable choices with only play one of his 9 cost Whitebeard while he had 3 in hand, which ultimately works in my favor, so I was also able to secure the win. At this point, I'm at 3-3, so if I can continue win, now I can still probably have the chance to be top 108, so I would just go into my round 7. Then at round 7, I play against the Strawbeard, but unfortunately the hand was horrible and the opponent can smoothly play his curve. At the end, I actually lose this round again, and my record was 3-4, which means I had no chance to making the top 128, and I decided to drop. Unfortunately, I didn't perform well this time, mainly because I didn't face the decks I expected and wasn't prepared for the matchups that I played that day. Additionally, the SuperNova Kid is designed to counter the top 3 meta decks, which is Zoro, Kinemon, and Whitebeard. But it's actually weaker against other matchup, compared to the standard version of the Kid build. I also made some misplays and didn't utilize Kid's leader effect aggressively enough. But overall, the deck is very fun to play, and the 4-cost X-Streak was particularly powerful against non-black or blue decks. I highly recommend trying the SuperNova Kid if your local tournaments have many Zoro, Kinemon, or those Whitebeard players. However, if you're unsure about the matchup you will face, so consider the safer Fortress Kid build, and I'll also have one of the sample list for you to begin with, which this is a pretty standard version of the Kid if you want to play in the OP02 format. And that's pretty much it for it. Hope you guys will like it. Thanks for watching the video. I will leave a comment below with your thoughts and suggestions, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.